Thank you for joining us today. Now, before this, you saw two photos of the same couple getting married at different times. Well, this is because Benzer and Sandra were divorced once for 5.5 years after 13 years of marriage, and then they remarried once they found the love of Christ. In this video, they'll be sharing one of their most difficult challenges. Good afternoon, Benzer and Sandra. How are you guys doing?
Yeah,
Great.
we're doing well.
Okay, now we plan to have children, and we had children, but you had a situation where it didn't come to pass. Can you tell us about it, please?
Yes, we, about 1.5 years into our marriage, decided to have children. And then I found out that I couldn't have children.
And that had an effect on our marriage that we really felt, well, where do we go from here?
What kind of an effect was that?
I guess it's like we hadn't talked about it beforehand, so we just assumed that we would have children. So then finding out that we couldn't have children, the effect was just devastating.
Yeah.
How did you cope with it?
It's very difficult to actually cope with something, to hearing news that you can't have children.
Then we had to talk about what do we do
Okay.
that we can't have children. For me, it was a lot of guilt on my side because I felt that, my husband couldn't have children because of me, my parents couldn't be grandparents because of me.
Yeah, sure.
So you do have a lot of guilt as well as the devastating news to deal with.
Okay.
And then you go from there on what you would do next. And
Now, Benzer, in your role as the husband, how did this affect you as a husband, as a potential father that isn't going to be one now?
It was a very difficult situation to be in because the fact that you can't be a father, you can't be the head of a family.
Okay.
In this particular case, Sandra was going through the devastation of not being able to have a child. I had to put my feelings on hold to be that tower of strength for her. Emotionally, you're trying to be a supportive husband.
Yeah.
You're trying to be there to deal with the emotions, but also you've got your own emotions and your own devastation to deal with, which no one seems to address.
Yeah.
And you're considered secondary to the woman.
I was going to ask you that.
Sandra, did it make you feel less of a woman?
oh yes, definitely. Because you're conditioned that's in our DNA to have children, or else the world stops. So I felt that I wasn't a proper woman because I couldn't have children.
Okay.
And then I felt I wasn't a proper wife because my husband couldn't have children through me. I knew how devastating that was for me. How much more would it be for him? And I couldn't cope with his sadness and pain.
No, of course. Death is the most difficult experience to get over in human life. But what about someone who should have lived but never did? This is a really complex issue with many different aspects to it, so we're going to continue the conversation with Benzer and Sandra in 2 weeks' time. In next week's video, Chapter 2 on teachability in marriage will be our theme, so I hope to see you then. God bless. Bye-bye.